Hey guys, just Jani. I had done a quick tip about using a fork to make a wrap ring the same as you do with a spoon. This is a demi-tasse spoon, so it's shorter than a regular spoon. And you use the exact same technique, but with a fork. So these are just regular dinner forks. They're not the big long ones. So you can see I've already annealed and flattened this one, and it's just over 6 inches. And that's a little bit too long because I want the end of it to land here at the back of the fork, not, all the way around, because that's just too thick, too heavy, too much material. So I'm gonna do about, let's see, maybe 4 3/4, and I'll show you what size I get out of that one. I'm gonna cut it here with my bolt cutters. I know I'm a little bit out of the camera view there. Save that for something else. I'm going to take this to my grinder, grind that off, and use my fiber wheel to smooth it. And then I will show you how I bend it on the bender press. I'm not going to do the annealing in this video. I've already annealed mine, but I will put a link below to a little quick video of how long to anneal if you don't know. Okay, so we have annealed and flattened and cut and ground. We're ready to go. Same as any of your other rings, I'm starting with the biggest pin that comes with my kit. You might have an older or newer kit with a different pin. I'm starting with the biggest one I have. And I'm using this block that has the deeper channel. So just like your other, any ring or your wrap ring, start with curving your end around, kind of getting that J shape. We'll do the same thing with this side. Now when I do this, I'll show you what happens. These tines squeeze in. That may not happen, depends on what fork you have, but I don't want them squeezed in. So before I move on, just to make less work later, I have a flat blade screwdriver, and I just like to spread those apart because I want the handle to go down the middle and the tines to show on either side. So it's just easier if I fix it now when I can get to it, because if I wait, you can see there the tines are out here and the handle goes between. If I wait till I have this wrapped, the handle is wrapped around it, it's harder to get to. So have a flat blade screwdriver handy. Just helps. And sometimes they just go right back where you had them and you got to do it again, but just don't rush. Just take your time, do little bits. This is a hard spot because it's so thick right there. And again, I'm going to pause and bend those out of the way. Oops, a little too far. There we go. That one doesn't want to bend. There we go. All right. Got a bit of a mess there. You can see it's not wanting to just slide over smoothly for me. That's okay. Just take your time, little bits, work it around, it'll come. There, it's going now. Just be patient and again, these two are fine. This one's good. I got this one outside tine that keeps wanting to bend in. So just go ahead and move it over while I'm working. I'm a little off center. Meaning my handle, I can see, is not lined up perfectly in the center. That's okay too. We'll fix that. But I want to keep working this around. Sometimes it'll come over on its own. Sometimes you need to. Actually, that one did come over. Sometimes you need to use your rawhide mallet. Sorry, my hands are in the way so much. It's hard to do this without covering up the work you're doing. Okay, so what's happening now is because I've got it tight, these two inside tines and the handle, they're all the right size. You can see these two are not bent down. I don't know if you can see that very well on the camera. I turn it. You can see these are down and the outside ones are up because this is stopping these from getting bent. So you might need to either slide this down to the end so only that tine, see how you can get only the tines bent around. You don't have the whole ring in it. You can do that. That's why this long post is good for getting started, because it reaches all the way to the end where the other post doesn't come out as far, so you can't do that. Okay. So I want to have a quick look. We're getting there. I would like this a little, if I can turn it so you can see. So I got a bit of a high spot right there, because that's a really thick spot. But otherwise, it's coming along nicely. And this is going to land right here, because I like the plain metal and having a bit of decoration come over to contrast. So I'm going to keep tweaking that just a little bit, and let me check the size. Oops, I put my mandrel away. So I can see about where we're at. Oh, big. We're still at, I'd call it an 8. So by time I work that little high spot out and bring this over a little, will probably be a 7.5. So I had cut that at, what was that, about 5 inches when I started. So you can cut it a little shorter if you want to do something a little smaller, or wrap it tighter. If you need something larger, cut it a little longer. Or if you want your end to come all the way, you can have it longer. It's really trial and error, and it depends on your piece of silverware. If, like you saw, I had a thin, very flat piece, meaning what I mean by flat is, oh wait, I have the end. This is the end I cut off. You can see it's flat. The design doesn't stick up a lot. And let me grab one that has a big end so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you choose one that has a lot of detail and it sticks up like that, this little spot right there where the design is going to be really hard to bend. And not bend if it were bigger space, like, you know, it bends obviously, but what I'm saying is on something like a fork wrap ring, it is hard to get nice and smooth if you have something very ornate and sticking up right there. So if you are a beginner, start with something more simple like this, that's flat, not a big raised design, or take the time and, you know, work out all the kinks. Just because it's harder, we don't want to leave it and say, oh well, that's good enough because that was hard. You can work out those high spots and kinks that happen. So I'm going to continue working on mine. I'm not going to do anything different that you're going to miss. I'm just going to continue working, especially, whoops, I'm turning the wrong way, especially that spot. I may move to a smaller pin or try a different channel and work that little high spot out because I just feel like it could be a little bit more round right there. And then I don't know if you can see this tine. Can you see the very tip of it is turned in, and you don't want a sharp spot going over your finger. So grab pliers, or like I have these that have the plastic coating. They're a little torn up, but you can kind of bend that little tip out. So take the time and, you know, make the little adjustments you need to make it a really nice ring. So I hope that helps, and I will show you my final product at the end after I have finished it and polished it up. Okay, so I did go ahead and try a couple different of the peg sizes to get that little high spot, and I think I did a pretty good job of getting it nice and round. And you can see all the tines are level with each other. Don't have any too much higher than the others. And you can see I did take my screwdriver and kind of push some of those apart just so they look more evenly spaced. And I fixed the tips that were kind of pointed in. Now I've just buffed this real quick for sake of the video. Normally I would throw it in my tumbler. And this came out I'd call that a size 7. So there's my finished product. See, there's my original one. On the left is the original, and the one on the right is the one I just made for you. So I hope that helps you out. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe.